It looks like the Braves dodged a major bullet. We'll talk about that in about 5 minutes. Braves and Diamondbacks, as we said, it's also alumni weekend. Greg McMichael, who's the Senior Director of Alumni Relations, he'll be joining us to discuss the weekend at 12:30. Tonight, I can tell you, it's Andres Galarraga bobblehead giveaway, and there's going to be alumni autographs and then the alumni roll call on the field, so you get to see everybody. Tomorrow, it's Grant Holmes and Eduardo Rodriguez. You mentioned him yesterday, Chris, the ace that nobody knows about. That's at 7:15. Ford leadoff show again at 6. And you have the Alumni Legends Parade down Battery Avenue and the Atlanta Home Run Derby competition before the game. So I guess what I'm saying, Chris, is tonight and tomorrow, even on Sunday, you want to get down there early.
Yeah, you're playing a playoff caliber baseball team on top of that, who you can either push their season along in a positive direction or kick them backwards a little bit as well, depending upon what happens over the 3 games.
Then on Sunday, a former Brave takes the mound, Michael Soroka, against Bryce Elder at 1:35, and that's the crossover jersey collection day. Kids are going to get the Michael Harris II football jersey. First 3,000 kids in attendance will get that football jersey. You can run the bases afterwards as well. What do we know about the Diamondbacks? We know they're 64-58. We know that they can also be a pain in the keister at times, right?
Yeah, their individual pieces are this, but the sum of the parts is a good baseball team. And good enough to compete with San Diego, good enough to compete with the Phillies, good enough to compete with anybody else that might be fighting for a wild card spot that in all likelihood has spent more money on their lineup, their roster, and they've probably actually got bigger names than this team has. Nolan Arenado is the biggest name on this team, except he's not Nolan Arenado anymore. You know, Corbin Carroll's a really good player. Did you see what he just did the other day? He had his 100th home run. He's got 100 home runs, 50 stolen bases in 606 games. Do you want to know the only players in baseball history to have 100 home runs and 50 triples?
I got a feeling it's a very select list, Chris.
Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, and Corbin Carroll are the only guys who played 610 or fewer games with 100 home runs and 50 triples. Nobody hits a triple anymore. Triple's like a unicorn in baseball. Certainly nobody accumulates them like Corbin Carroll did. Good player, good speed. Ketel Marte you heard of. He was actually in the news earlier this year and really for the last year and a half. Is he goofy? Is he flaky? Does he want to play or does he not? He's gotten hot over the last couple of games. Fought since he came back. This is a true story. He went down to Reno. They sent him down. He was terrible this year. Sent him down to Reno. He's 6-0 with a 1.32 since. He's the best pitcher. Can I make a recommendation? We got a bunch of pitchers that we're trying to get back, right? Let's all send him to Reno. Everybody go to Reno. I don't know what's going on in Reno. This guy is Roy Halladay's the greatest go down to the minors and come back and then have a Hall of Fame career. That's the greatest ever. This might be the second. I've never seen a guy go down to the minors to get fixed and come back and be 6-0 with a 1.32 ERA for a team that's fighting to be in the postseason.
Yeah, 6-1, 3.36 ERA overall. The radio voice of the Diamondbacks, longtime knuckleballer, which leads to another conversation you can have with him, Chris Domino, Tom Candiotti from the Diamondbacks radio network. He's scheduled to join us at 1. The knuckleball school is one of the things that you've touted over the years. You can talk to an actual knuckleballer about that. Tom Candiotti at 1 o'clock.
Can you guys look up how much money did Tom Candiotti make in his career? Does he have the funding perhaps available to actually start knuckleball school?
He's played a long time, or he did play a long time.
All right. I just want I want 10% for the idea. I want to franchise it out, these ideas. I just want to keep 10% when all is said and done. Let's see if Mr. Candiotti believes what I believe. Take a guy who looks like he's never going to cut it. Sinker ain't good enough. Four-seam ain't good enough. Doesn't have a splitter. Doesn't throw a changeup. But, man, he knows what it's like to pitch in the bigs. Man, he knows what it's like to be prepared mentally to pitch a major league game. Why don't we actually teach him how to throw a knuckleball? And, by the way, the knuckle curve, you're hearing about that a little bit more. A knuckle curve doesn't knuckle. It spins. It's just more of a knuckle grip. But it's not a knuckle curve like, it won't spin, and I know where it's going. That's not what a knuckle curve is.
Bert Hooton back in the 70s was the first to throw that knuckle curve for the Dodgers. Why I remember that, I have no earthly idea.
Yeah,
but that's just how my brain works.
It's not necessarily it could dance all over. Guys just have more of a knuckleball grip on a curveball. So do we know a Candiotti? Is there a chance he could actually fund knuckleball school? Or
we can ask him. I mean, consider the source and what a source it's going to be with Tom Candiotti at 1 o'clock. Walt Weiss said something about arguably the best player on the Braves, Matt Olson. Wanted to run this by you, Domino.
Yeah.
So we know that he set records in 23. RBIs, 139, 54 home runs. Yep. He said, even though that was a next-level season, Walt Weiss, about Matt Olson, I don't know if he ends up with that many this year, but I think he's all around a better hitter this year. So more valuable to the team this year as opposed to that record-setting season in 23 is Matt Olson.
I think I looked at it. What did I tell you? Is it 268 lifetime hitter maybe? I remember looking at it at one point, and he went through a stretch where you go, how the hell does he only hit 268 for his career? He looks better than that. He hits the ball hard, but the strikeouts are going to be there. And look, he's a long lever guy. He's different. He's taller. If you look at his swing, it's pretty. Oh, God. When he connects, but there's some swing and miss in there, and he's never really figured out. And I'm not screaming, should he be a 285 hitter? It's like the guy completes 61% of his passes. Well, he should complete 64. I'm not telling you Matt Olson hitting 285 makes him an incredibly that much better player, because I want RBIs. I want production. How often do you get on base? Do you draw enough walks where you can score runs? That's the thing that we don't talk about enough. If you're, I'll give you an example, 252, Dave Kingman, 238, you're a one-trick pony. For the most part, Mark McGwire was a one-trick pony. I love the trick. But I know there are going to be games, 4 at-bats. And I know there's going to be a game the next day, 4 more at-bats, where I go, you really had no shot to do anything else except hit a home run. And if it feels like that, it's probably close to it. It might be exaggerated. Matt Olson's doubles. If you look at the doubles, the extra base hits, that's the number that I think is more important than 262. But if you only hit 268 again this year, that's not really a thing for me.
Well, to your point, Chris, he leads the majors, at least going into Wednesday, led the majors with 64 extra base hits, on pace for 86, 2 more than he had in 2023. That's your Wellstar Well Stat of the day, incidentally. At Wellstar, patients are the center of everything we do. Nationally ranked, locally recognized for high-quality care, inclusive culture, and exceptional doctors and caregivers. Visit wellstar.org today to learn more. Wellstar, more than healthcare, people care. So Matt Olson also, if he gets the 86 extra base hits, would match Eddie Matthews for the 3rd highest season total in the history of the franchise. Only Hank Aaron, perhaps you've heard of him, has more.
Can I tell you why? I thought I was right about this. You want to know why 2023 was what it was? 54 home runs he drove in himself 54 times. But he scored 127 runs. That's a lot of runs. You know, if you're scoring, if you're driving in 139 and you're scoring 127, by the way, he's only had 2 years where he scored more than 100 runs. It was 101 in 21, and it was 127 that year, 78, 98. This year it's 86. He's going to push it past 100 this year. But at the end of the day, like if the batting average is the thing that matters to you, he's hitting 264. He's a 258 lifetime hitter, 258. What would it do if he hit 265 every year? I don't know. But when I look at the year he hit 283, he scored 127 runs. When I look at he had an on-base percentage of 389. Easily his best in baseball. He scored more runs. I just want you to have an ability to score more runs.
So here's where the Braves may have dodged a bullet. In case you didn't see, last night Jacob deGrom left his start against the Rangers after 2 innings because of what they're calling as of right now, Chris, right triceps fatigue. Okay. He'll undergo an MRI today. And the Braves, if you believe what you're hearing, were oh so close to getting Jacob deGrom. Boy, with this one, if this is true, and this would have happened here, obviously would have backfired.
I just did something this morning about this upcoming series, but a little bit more. You know, some of the best deals you make are the ones you don't make. Some of the best money you ever spend is money you don't spend. All those things, the cliches, but by the way, there's reality in those. That would have been, and it could still happen, I'll challenge you. If I asked 100 Braves fans to write down what they think, not what they want, not what they hope for, what they think the first 3 pitchers, let's say the Braves go to the postseason, give me your first 3 in the rotation. Here's the point.
I can't even do that right now with any confidence.
Well, remember Chris Sale was supposed to pitch in a game 2 years ago and didn't. That's the point. And if you would have said, well, thank God we got Jacob deGrom, he's going to slot him right behind Chris Sale, except there was going to be, at that point, 7 more weeks in the season, and you have no idea.
I think I gave myself too much importance. Walt Weiss couldn't do that. Alex Anthopoulos couldn't do that right now. Nobody knows.
And whether, again, you're a fan on the couch who knows stuff about this team, it would, and you'd see a bunch of variances. You'd see, I want Martin Perez. No, look what Malley just did. I want him. And you'd have that. But then the reality would be, oh, yeah, by the way, that guy who's good could be bad. That guy who's good could get hurt. The guy who's bad all of a sudden could get better. Can I change my mind? 6 weeks from now, you'd be asking for a do-over.
And now Jacob deGrom could be shut down for the year. He's a guy that also had left hip and groin and glute issues earlier in the season. So he's a guy that has a tendency to break down, and maybe that would have happened if you made that deal here, and then you're shorthanded all over again. But listen, everybody's got problems. We're too close to the situation here because we live in Atlanta and a lot of people are Braves fans here. The Dodgers have some issues. Edwin Díaz is their high-priced closer. He blew another save last night. They don't really react all that much to things in Los Angeles. They booed him out of that stadium last night. That's how bad he's been.
They took him out in the middle of an inning. And again, going back to what I did this morning, this idea of Iglesias, yeah, we are close to it. This is the one that affects me. I don't care. Wait, the Dodgers guy's got a problem? Yeah, but he's also got time because he's a veteran to fix it. He's got time to fix it. Iglesias has time to fix it. Now, if it's a physical problem, there's two things. He could be a little bit worn out. You'll pull back the usage. It could be a mechanical thing. He's a veteran.
He's got 14 appearances. He was banged up. He had that issue with the fighting male chickens down there.
Yeah, you're right. Not him.
He's been a little sidetracked at times.
I just mean any veteran should be able to figure out his mechanics a little bit easier than a young guy. But if he's fatigued, you pull back usage. If he's hurt, that's one thing. If he's injured, it's another thing. So we have no idea. We just live in a world of why is my closer not very good? Well, this side of Mason Miller and this side of Dennis Eckersley in 88 and this side of, and by the way, one of the greatest bullpen seasons of all time also ended in him giving up a home run to Kirk Gibson in a World Series. You go, what? How the hell did that happen? I don't know, but it did. So you're not even guaranteed that if you have one of the best seasons ever coming out of the bullpen, that will continue in October. I'd rather have Iglesias struggle now, and if it's a usage thing, I get to sit him down. If it's a mechanical thing, I'm dealing with a guy who should know his body better than anybody. He should be able to figure out the mechanical thing.